being real this morning. And I would like for people, if you're listening, and if you knew Makia, to call in 617-282-0685. There's an article in the banner about her and the work that she's done. But there's so much that people don't know about Makia. But I am thankful and grateful to have been a friend of hers for over 30 years. She was like my mentor. We worked on several political campaigns together. She was a part of almost every organization that we started, that we worked on. BECMA, the Black Boston COVID Coalition, the Leadership Forum, the Black Economic Justice Institute, the Blue Hill Carter Planning Commission. I tell you, it's so heartbreaking when someone that you love and care about and are friends with goes to the other side. They transition. And we all know that tomorrow is not promised, people. That's why we have to get our lives right. Get our lives right with God. When you think about someone like a Makia, I call her a female Mel King. The only thing is she never ran for office. And I used to tell her, Makia, why don't you run for office? She says, because I want to be a king and queen maker and not a queen. So she wasn't interested in holding an elected office. She was interested in making sure that people got into office that cared about us and cared about our community. Makia was born and raised in Boston. She was taught under Mel King and Chuck Turner and the Bolins. I'm telling you, people, time is running out. We don't know the minute nor the hour. She was getting dressed to come to a meeting with the Black Local Organizing Committee, which she was also a member of. She worked with so many people. You just don't know. But I want to say that her wake will be next Wednesday, June 21st, 2023, from 4 to 8 p.m. at 12th Baptist Church on Warren Street. So, as I think about Makia, as I think about the night that we talked for a couple hours on Friday because we were talking about the meeting the next day, and she was helping me with my welcome speech, and we were laughing, and we were just, talking about things that we planned on doing in the city. And it didn't happen. She didn't make it to the meeting. She was responsible for getting the food there. The last message I got from her was, Priscilla, this is Mukia. I am on my way to Dunkin' Donuts to get the breakfast for tomorrow's meeting. Thursday she was passing out flyers. Friday she was making sure that we had the food. I'm just devastated. My heart is broken, but I know that God will heal the broken heart and bind up the wounds, because that's what the word says. It tells us also, let not our heart be troubled. If we believe in God, believe also in him. He says, in my Father's house there are many mansions. If it were not so, I would have told you. I go and prepare a place for you, that you will come. It's not a good day, but I'm trying to continue the work that Makia started. I worked with her for over 30 years, and so I was blessed to have her in my life. Her and my brother Kenny, they worked on so many different campaigns together. Makia also worked for the state of Massachusetts. She retired from DCAM. She was the one that was responsible for the compliance of the Edward Kennedy science project. She knew so much. She had so much knowledge. It was amazing. She was the type of person, she wouldn't ask one question. She asked 4 questions at a time. She was just fearless. She didn't bite her tongue. She said what she had to say, and she meant it. So I don't know if anybody's out there listening, but give us a call, 617-283. No, I'm sorry, 617-282-0685. I'm just messed up, people. I'm just messed up.
Patrick Wilson is actually tuned in on Facebook Live, and he's saying good morning to you.
Good morning.
And he also said that he asked the question, it was just Chuck Turner's birthday the other day, he believes.
I don't know. I can't remember Chuck's birthday.
Okay.
I just remember that he died on Christmas Day. And we had been in a meeting with him on the 17th of December. And the date, the year, I want to say 2017. I can't remember the actual year, but I remember because we had a meeting. We had a meeting on the 17th of December, and we were looking for a new coordinator for the Boston Jobs Coalition, but he came to that meeting, and he's, on Christmas Day, he went. And then we had Mel King. Mel King passed away this year, like last month. I mean, time is just going by so fast. We're already half a year into the,
Unbelievable.
Yeah, and then, from Makia to, God's calling his people home.
Yes.
And we have to be ready. We can't be getting ready. We have to be ready.
So true.
But I know that God is able.
Absolutely.
I know he's able. And I'm just, like I said, I'm thankful and grateful for the time that I had.
Yes.
Don't seem like 30 years. It's a long time.
It is a long time.
Mm-hmm. But people, we got a lot of stuff going on in Boston. It's crazy. Yesterday, the city council did pass the vote on the budget 7-5. And one thing I love Tanya Fernandez Anderson because she keeps it real. She tells the truth. She is the only city councilor I have ever known to break down the budget the way she broke it down, where it shows where money is being sent, who's getting what, and who's not getting what. And it's I don't have it in front of me, but as soon as I get it, I'm gonna let you all know, because she broke down every item, every line item, what was going where. $400 million to Chinatown, $300 million to Charlestown, $50 million to Roxbury, 25 or 50 to Dorchester. I mean, it was just, clearly there is a problem with the political system in this, not only in this city, but in the state and in the whole country. I mean, we have a man that has been impeached twice, indicted, and he running for president. I mean, really, people, when are we going to wake up? Our vote counts. And the only way we're going to get what we need and what we want and what we deserve is if we get off our rusty dusties and go out and vote. Come on, people. People say, oh, my vote don't count. And I always say the only time it don't count is when you don't cast it. That's why we created the block, so that we could have a voice, so that we could bring people that are running for office to talk to us. Because we need to have people in our city government and state government and federal government that really care about us. This from what I have observed at the city council. I see Julia Mejia fighting for us. I see Tanya fighting. I see Cara fight. I don't understand why. And I'm just gonna say it. I just don't understand why we have city councilors of color that go against what we're trying to do for each other. I don't understand why certain people, certain city councilors, and you all know who you are, I don't have to call your name, voted against the school committee. After all almost 80% of our of Boston residents voted for elected a school committee. So why don't we have an elected school committee? Because folks voted against it, the homeroom petition, and Michelle Wu, our mayor, vetoed it. It was like it never happened. It was like, oh, well, 80% of Boston residents want elected school committee, but I want something else. And so, what does that say, people? What does that tell us? We got to wake up, Boston, especially Black Boston. And people think that, I don't care if you come from Haiti, Trinidad, Jamaica, all these Caribbean countries. It doesn't matter. You're still black. When people look at you, they look at the skin color, which is the outside. They don't know you're hot. They don't know what you do. They just know that you're different. You don't look like them. And right now we have, I would say, 4 city councilors that clearly go against the grain. They don't care. They feel like they're entitled. They feel like, everything should be whitewashed. I'm really frustrated. I'm really aggravated. And I'm really sick and tired of being sick and tired. And so we are going to be doing things different in this city. Because time has come for us to stand up as community. Time has come for us to stand up as black people. We are free, but we don't act like we're free. We don't walk in our freedom. Why we got to kowtow down to the powers that be? The elected officials that come, you only see them when it's election time. That doesn't make any sense. That's crazy. You mean to tell me you can't come around for other things? But you sure bouncing around now that it's election year. I say we need to run a slate of people. We need to run a slate of people. Because I believe that people get into office in the beginning because they care. But then they get caught up in the talk. They get caught up in the foolishness. They get caught up in kowtowing to the mayor. The mayor only has one vote. She has a lot of influence, but she only has one vote. Just like all of us, we all have one vote. But just imagine if we all got together and went and voted for people that we believe will support and advocate for us. We need advocates, not politicians, crooketicians, politricks. We know, we've been here, we've seen it. We know what they're doing. They don't care about us. We live in the most racist city in the country, where black folks $8 assets, white people $247,500. I mean, we went through the pandemic, people. I know a lot of us lost family members and friends and loved ones to the pandemic. It wasn't easy going through, but we're here. We're still here. And we have to do something. We have to do something. I think all the time of Harriet Tubman. And she says, I freed 1,000 slaves. I could have freed 1,000 more if they knew that they were slaves. And so, as I embark on this journey with all this community work that needs to be done, we need you people. We need you. We need your voice. We need your hands. We need your money too. Because as long as we have to as long as we can't build our own, like we have a black bank. But is that black bank supporting us? Maybe they are. I don't see it. So why don't we start our own credit union, right? Why don't we start our own bank? We can do it. We have to be able to discern who is for us and who isn't. And some people so caught up in the money. You know, you can't take a nickel, dime, a quarter with you when you leave here. You can't. You have to be able to put something in so you can get something out. The Nubian Square Foundation has something, and they say it's called Put Up or Shut Up, where they're asking community members to come together and let's put some money together for us. It is crazy. It doesn't make any sense that we still are low on the totem pole. Good morning. Hello.
Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
Very well, thank you.
That's good. That's good. I must have misunderstood you. I thought you were coming into the studio, but it's all right. You're here. So,
yes, I'm not hearing you clearly.
can you...
Hello?
Hello? Yes. Can you hear me better now?
Yes, it's just not quite loud enough.
I can try to talk louder. Is that better?
Oh, that's much better.
Okay, so I'm screaming in the studio right now. Okay, but I need you to hear me so we can have our conversation.
Yes.
Okay, so how are you doing today?
Very well.
That's good. That's good. I know you must be excited about Juneteenth, June 19th.
Yes, we're very excited because there are expansions to how we're observing the Juneteenth this year that are new, and we're eager to see them draw a wider audience and more participation. So yes, we're all quite excited about Juneteenth 2023.
So you want to tell us about some of the festivities that's going to be happening? I hear we're going to have a parade.
Yes, there are a cluster of events that involve multiple sites. The day will begin with a flag raising in Elliott Square at the Dillaway Thomas House flagpole.
And what time is that?
Pardon?
What time is it?
That is at noon, at 12 o'clock p.m.
Okay.
And it will have a couple of distinguishing features. We do expect a fine political presence there, likely also including a presence of the mayor. But very special for this is Ben Haith. Ben Haith will come. He raised the original Juneteenth flag, which he designed from that site in the late 1990s. So he's coming up, and he will help hoist the flag there.
Okay.
So that event will have a dramatic drum call that will draw everyone to place at noon, and then the short ceremonial program will follow, There'll be a reading of The Hill We Climb, the Amanda Gorman poem, by a young lady who has been very involved with the Boston Juneteenth Committee for some while. And following that will be the remarks from political participants and from Boston Ben, as Ben Hayes is sometimes known. A trumpeter will announce the hoisting of the flag, and after that is all accomplished, people will be able to gather in the lot nearby to Dillaway Thomas House to prepare for launching into the parade. The parade will happen for the second time, and it will proceed from the lot at Dillaway Thomas House in Elliott Square to the museum grounds on Walnut Avenue. It kicks off at 1 p.m., and most of it should be in place on the museum grounds by 2:15. When the parade and people arrive at the museum grounds, they will walk into a festive context that will have opened at 2:15. That includes food vendors and vendors of books and artifacts, informational tables, and so forth, and music. That setting will be in place until just at 4. Coming up to 4, there is another drum summons that calls people to the principal program. And that is followed by pouring of a libation in respect of our elders and all of the elders of the soil that we're on. Then there's an invocation and a statement of the occasion, which provides how we understand the importance of Juneteenth, and which also is an opportunity to state more clearly the theme of the day, which is Juneteenth, honoring our martyrs and heroes. Shortly after that is done, we award the 2 prizes that go for the Boston Awards. These are the Ralph F. Brown Jr. Awards. One is for civic engagement, and the other is activism. These both go to young people who have been especially identified for their contribution to the civic life of especially Roxbury, but more generally of Greater Boston. Following that, and some wonderful musical interludes, is a reading of the emancipation-related federal documents. That includes a reading of the Emancipation Proclamation, of the General Order Number 3, on which Juneteenth is directly based, and of the 13th Amendment, which abolished slavery in the United States. Those lead us to the address for the day, which is being offered by our counselor, Tanya Fernandez Anderson.
Mm-hmm.
And when she finishes, Jamada, who is our chairperson, will make additional acknowledgments and thank yous. We will sing Lift Every Voice, and the 54th Regiment, which will have presented the colors at the beginning of the program, will retrieve them, and that formally ends our event.
It sounds like a day of celebration, love, and fun. And so
it's a day of education, celebration, entertainment, and enjoyment.
Great. I know it takes a lot to put something like this together, and I know Jamada has been doing a lot of
Yes, it's
good work.
important to realize that this program, which is very full and fairly complicated, is a production of a volunteer committee, the Boston Juneteenth Committee, and the National Center of Afro-American Artists. It is undertaken each year with a real commitment of service to the community, and we are, like almost everybody else, doing this on very limited resources. So your support by your presence and by contributions, if you wish to make them, is very, very valuable for moving this forward and keeping it going. This is our 13th year producing the Boston Juneteenth Emancipation Observance on the museum grounds.
That's wonderful. That is really
One other distinction which I would point out quickly is that our observance is always on the actual day. So whatever day June 19th falls on, that is the day of our observance.
okay. So every June 19th. That's right. It is. You all do
Yes,
it every June 19th.
we've been doing it long enough that we've gone through the whole week and part multiple times. We've been on Father's Day. We've been before Father's Day. This year we're just after Father's Day.
Yes, and this because it's a national holiday, people don't have to go to work.
We started the parade last year. That was the first year we did it.
Mm-hmm.
We did the parade because we wanted to pay special recognition to the elevation of Juneteenth to a federal holiday.
Mm-hmm.
And we knew one way to mark that would be to have the parade last year, but we decided to build that into the tradition, and thus we added it for the second time this year.
Yes, I was
There
actually.
are volunteer committees that have really stepped in and taken on organizing each of these parts of the day.
Well, I am so thankful and grateful for the work that you all have been doing all these years. And I see that there's some work being done over at the museum. Could you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes, we have been making renovations and restorations on the building.
Mm-hmm.
The building, which is on the National Historic Register as Abbotsfort, was first occupied around 1872. So the building is 150 years old, give or take.
Mm-hmm.
And when we acquired the building, it was in great dilapidation. We have made several efforts at improving it and bringing it to itself, but we've had an extended effort on the renovation of the building over the last year and a part. Last summer, we completed the replacement of the roof in slate and copper, the original materials. That was a formidable task, and we immediately turned attention to working on the stonework and masonry, and that is what we're doing now. We're repointing, and we will, as soon as we're caught up with the masonry and stonework, we expect to address the windows and the entrances. Where we hope to get to in the present round of work is to a perfect exterior that will make us all proud to have such a handsome structure in our community for our continuous use. So we have not been open on a regular schedule over the period that this work has been going forward. And we are at present open principally by arrangement, by prearrangement, although I hope that later in the year we'll be able to open on a fixed schedule. Our history was really to be open 6 days a week on a fixed schedule before the great interruption of the virus and the continuing work on the building itself. So if you ride by and you see the scaffolds still surrounding the building and now a big cherry picker at the back to work on the upper elevations of the building, you should think, here are wonderful improvements in my community and my neighborhood. And like everything, all of this needs money, so we welcome contributions to the capital fund with which we're trying to keep this work going forward.
So, Barry, could you tell me what's going on with the Elmer Lewis School? Has that been, is that going to be, I don't know, with the new project, with the new people that were assigned?
Well, we are trying to get back to the regular work of the National Center for Afro-American Artists, but I'm not able to give you a really firm schedule for that. The National Center was really three things rolled into one under the umbrella of National Center. It was the Elmer Lewis School of Fine Arts, which was arts teaching, the performing arts work, which principally has come to be Black Nativity, which we will do for the 53rd season at the end of this year, and the visual arts, which have been represented by the museum. We remain committed to all three of those things, but we are frankly having to put a lot of work into shaping a future and securing it, and that is work we're deeply involved in presently.
Okay. So I just wanna thank you for taking the time to come call in and let us know what is going on, because there's so many things going on in this city. And
yes, it's my honor to do so, and I'm very, very pleased at your invitation. And I have to confess, we have so much still to do between now and Monday that as soon as we finish talking, we'll be back to work on making a success of that.
Well, I'm sure it's going to be successful. I mean, the years that I've been coming, it's always been a nice event. It's always been fun. You see people that you may have not seen in a while, but I know this year it will be special because there'll probably be more people out. It looks like it's going to be a day of festivities.
I'm very much looking forward to it, and hope to see you there.
Oh, I'm going to be there.
All right.
I will be there. And so I want to thank you for taking the time, and I definitely will be there, God willing, because we never know nowadays the way our folks are leaving. But
all right, and thank you for this opportunity on behalf of the Boston Juneteenth Committee and the National Center for Afro-American Artists.
Well, thank you, Barry. And we'll see you on Monday?
Yes, you will.
Okay, thank you.
Take care.
You have a great day.
God bless.
You too.
Good
Bye-bye.
day.
So, hello? No, I can't hear. Can you hear me?
Yes.
I can't hear.
Maybe your headphones are not connected, but we can hear you.
Okay. All right. So, I want to thank Barry for giving us the rundown of Juneteenth. And I would ask, that all, as many black people as can and other races show up, I think it's going to be very nice. I'm looking forward to it. And it's about us, people. It's about us, black people, being freed from slavery. But you know what? In 2023, in some form or way, we are still enslaved because our minds are enslaved because we don't feel like we deserve good. We don't feel like we should have that we should be entitled to different things like housing, like good health, like jobs. We're entitled to all of this. And I don't even, now with the city looking at reparations, I mean, I tell you, I was talking earlier and I was telling you about the budget. And just as I was telling you about the budget, they were sending me a copy of the budget. So I can be a little bit more knowledgeable in what I'm saying. So there's a part in the budget that says, in real terms, it says total city funds and project funds per person. Dollar per person, city funds, and dollar per person, total project budget. And this is where, we were looking and it's like, oh, okay. So, like I said, almost $400,000 went to Chinatown. Over 300,000 went to downtown. We have a caller? Good morning, caller. You're on the air. I can't hear you. Hello?
Hello?
Yep, I can hear you. Is this Siddiqui?
Yes, it is there, Sister.
How you doing?
Not bad, and yourself?
I'm okay. I'm taking it a day at a time.
Yeah, I know. Well, what I tell people is that, in terms of Makia, it is a big loss, but I know, it's an adjustment, particularly, just in terms of trying to accept the fact that she's gone. But then I know even when Mel King passed away, people said, well, Siddiqui, they said, you don't seem like you're in mourning. I said, look, I got the utmost respect for Mel, and he'll be missed. I said, but you know what? If Mel were here, and I think this was in the same framework of Makia, Mel would say, okay, I'm not here now, but what are you going to do?
That's right.
So that's the spirit that I'm operating in. Makia's going to be missed, without a doubt.
Mm-hmm.
But then at the same time, I'm sure Makia would be saying the same thing. Okay, what are you going to do to contribute to uplifting the quality of life of our community? So that's the spirit that I'm operating in. And I'm calling because I just wanted to let you and your audience know that there's going to be a press conference tomorrow at 11 o'clock a.m. at the John D. O'Brien High School in front of the high school. I know you've heard about the declaration by the mayor. And
I even spoke to her about it last week.
Yeah,
well, let her know that we were not happy. The community's not happy with that at all.
Yeah, well, the thing that really bothers me, Priscilla, is that the community's not happy, but why aren't we making a stand? You know what I'm saying? I mean, the Mayor Wu has clearly shown that she has no respect for our community. I mean, whether it be about the issue of land disposition, just across the board, it's what she's done is she's just telling us what she's going to, the redistricting process. She's coming and saying, okay, this is what we're going to do. No community input, no nothing. So we're inviting folks to come to this press conference tomorrow at 11 o'clock. We're going to be right there at 55 Malcolm X Boulevard and basically saying, no, we do not want, first of all, it's tainting the legacy of John D. O'Brien. And we know what they want to do. They want to move it to West Roxbury and make it appear mostly for white students. We know what the deal is.
Of course, and we need to. I mean, we need to speak that. We need to say that.
Absolutely.
And she said one of the reasons why they were moving to West Roxbury was because they wanted to make Madison Park a state of the art. And I'm like, Madison Park isn't even working to its capacity. So
thank you, Priscilla.
So I'm telling you, I told her that. And because I'm not going to bite my tongue. Michelle Wu knows me. She knows I'm not going to bite my tongue. I'm going to tell her the truth. And I know what our community wants, and I know what our community needs.
See, based on what you said, Priscilla, in terms of capacity, because we know that, first of all, that Madison Park needs huge improvement academically, but also that in terms of the utilization of the space is underutilized.
Of
they
course.
could, in fact, reconfigure that with that $50 million that's what they're going to spend to still keep Madison Park and John D. O'Brien at the same location. So they're playing with us, and we got to stop this, because I hear people when they talk about, that I said early on, they said, well, she's a woman of color. I said, look, the bottom line is that can be overrated. I mean, they talk about Gandhi.
You know what? It doesn't matter that she's a woman of color. The fact that Chinatown is getting the majority of the money from the budget, that's an issue, and that's a problem.
But you know what? What she's doing is she's basically making a declaration, a statement in terms of where her priorities are.
Of course.
And so China, it's no surprise. I've heard about her connections down there with some of the Asian mafia down there in terms of who work with her. So I understand what she's doing, but I'm saying we need to feel the same way about us. In Chinatown, they wanted English language street signs for years, and within 2 months of her becoming mayor, boom, they have the English language street signs. Now, in terms of like the Nubian Library, the bottom line, 3 years after we won the vote for Nubian Square, and we've been on this campaign about the library, that you got David Leonard, head of the library system, who says, we recognize the fact that there's substantial sentiment in the Roxbury community for the Nubian Library name. But, so we've got forces of white supremacy that are out here saying, we got too much Nubian talk going on here and we got to stop it. But getting back to the mayor is that, like I said, we're going to do this press conference tomorrow. 11 o'clock, we're inviting people to be there, 55 Malcolm X Boulevard. And we're saying to the mayor, no. And it's just so disrespectful. You've got the Black Educators Alliance, all these different groups out here.
And who did she talk to?
No one. She just held a press conference, pulled some folks together to say this is what we intend to do starting in 2025. No input at all from the community. No consultation.
Well, you know what, Siddiqui? When she refused to, when she didn't sign the homeroom petition for the school committee, I knew that she was not on our side. Because 80% of the Boston residents voted for an elected school committee.
That's right.
And she should respect our wishes. I'm telling you, I got a little chant. It says, Michelle Wu, we sick of you. And I mean it. I mean it. Michelle Wu, we are sick of you. Well, the 400 parcels that were stolen back in the 60s. Right. I said, why can't you just take them 400 parcels that you getting ready to give away and build a John O'Brien school over there? Oh, those are just enough for a little small 2 and 3 family housing. There is so much housing going on in this city, it don't make no sense. And we still can't afford it.
That's right.
I'm telling you, the things that are happening, the deed restrictions. How you going to put a deed restriction on somebody for 30, 40, 50 years? You're still a tenant.
But you know what? See, I'm glad that this is all out here now, Priscilla, because look, I serve on Councilor Anderson's advisory council like you do. And so there were statements made there from the perspective of, we're so strong as a group, they don't know what to do with us downtown. And I said, don't fool yourself. I said, this Asian woman, I got reprimanded because I called her an Asian woman. I said, it's negative. But I said, she's got ice water in her veins, and you're going to see what she's really like. And so people kind of looked at me like, there goes Siddiqui again, blah, blah, blah.
Hold
now
on,
they can't look me in the eye because she's shown her true colors. She has no respect for our community whatsoever. And like I said, I gave the example of Gandhi and Dr. King, and Dr. King adopting the nonviolent infrastructure. But what they never talk about is that Gandhi talked about black people being of low mentality and used the N-word to describe us. So what I'm saying is that the whole thing about people of color the John D. O'Brien High School moved to West Roxbury.
Well,
I mean,
God willing, I'll be
personally.
there. God willing, I'll be there. But I think we have some comments. Hold on, Siddiqui. I'm gonna go ahead, Pastor.
Brother Eric Kennedy is saying, first of all, his condolences to you and the city of Boston for the loss of an amazing woman. He says that he would call, but he can't. So he wanted to ask, how can they pass a budget that made cuts on these departments: the Boston Police Department, Inspectional Services, Boston Public Library, Veterans Affairs, as well as cuts to children and family services? Who is agreeing to this? And Patrick Wilson is also tuned in, and he is saying Michelle Wu changed after the anti-vaxxers and cops protested outside her house. He also says Michelle Wu isn't for the people; she is for her tight little clique. Forgive me. He says, I wish that she wasn't the way she is. I had really high hopes for her.
Well, I wish we had Kim Janey, but that's not true. That ain't happening either. So, but I mean, just watching her, just like, it's just, she doesn't want to meet with real community groups. She doesn't. She doesn't want to talk to people who are gonna buck her or question her. Like Larry Ellison says, it's like romper room down there. There are so many young people down there in City Hall. It's and I don't have anything against young people, because I train young folks, so I don't have a problem with that. But you need to have someone that got some wisdom and knowledge and some experience and is older than 40 to be you getting your information from.
Yeah.
So,
In fact, I talked to Makia about that and other folks. The very piece you're addressing, because what it is that the young folks who are down there, they have no grassroots training in terms of community whatsoever. They're in over their head, and so that's why the mayor and her people, they understand this. Mm-hmm. They understand the fact that they can ram anything they want down our throats because of the fact that the folks down there, Councilor Anderson, she will speak up now.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? But by and large,
and Julia Mejia too.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, Julia Mejia too.
But I think like for instance, the issue around the library name. Why is it that has? I mean, the mayor, when she was running for mayor, said she supported the Nubian name. Now she
said a lot of things when she was running. She's just like all the other politicians.
Right. That's right.
Politricians, crooketicians. Okay.
So the bottom line, we should have that Nubian library. Now, I don't know what's in the budget. We've got a piece there. We want to open up a health clinic in Nubian Square. I'm going to check to see from a budgetary perspective if in fact that was included in this budget yesterday. But we just got to make it very clear that as a community that we just can't be walked over like this, because of the fact that we should be outraged that they want to move to John D. O'Brien.
We should be.
And no consultation whatsoever. Just going to come in and do a press conference at the John D. O'Brien saying, okay, y'all black people, brown people, this is what we're going to do. Not about we're going to sit down and have a discussion and get input from the community. None whatsoever.
We're going to have to disrupt some stuff. That's all. We just going to have to disrupt some stuff. And I'm not afraid. See, I don't fear nobody but God. I'm not afraid of no man, no woman, because I'm going to speak what I have to speak.
And we know that.
So Patrick Wilson's also communicating. He said one Gandhi beat his wife. He said lost, just referring because the caller brought him up. He says Michelle Wu chose to have Kevin Peterson's crew arrested rather than give them the time of day. Shaking my head.
I remember that time when they went down in Faneuil Hall and they literally turned the lights out on them. And all they did was holding up signs talking about you can't do this, you can't do that. We can do anything we want to do because you all rules don't apply to us anyway. You all do what you want to do. Obviously. Because that definitely should have been a conversation with the community. That's why she don't want to elect the school committee, because she wants to control everything. For what I understand, Mary Skipper a lot of folks like her, the work that she's done and things like that. But I don't know who decided that we know why, right? They're gonna make Madison Park all beautified, and then they're gonna bring the white folks down there and the into Madison Park, and already there's not a lot of black folks going there, so they're gonna make it all pretty. Then they're gonna ship the white folks in, and then they're gonna take the STEM program that we have, the John O'Brien, and take it to West Roxbury, and that should not happen. I said, just like we stopped that highway from coming in, just like we stopped the Olympics from coming here. And so have you heard about the Franklin Park? What's going on up there?
I've heard some things. Not
Okay,
good.
so I was in a meeting the other day, okay? And so from what I understand, the stadium, White Stadium, is being